Smooth officer.
Let's see. Welcome YouTube world. I am DJ MILEZ.
I'm Christian.
And let's see. I don't know. I just kind of want to make a video series because, well, there's a lot of people making YouTube stuff on what the hell they think. So why not do the same?
Why not us? I think that we have better opinions than half those assholes. So that's what we're striving for.
Yes. And I'm really curious to know. A year from now, where did this go? Or I don't even know if a year.
Yeah. Do you want to briefly explain how that even came up? You had this epiphany, just for a second. It's like a mission statement.
I wanted to make my own video on it, but we're here now. Mm-hmm. We're in the spot, or I'm in the spotlight. Yes. So this YouTube phenomenon, it hit me the other day while I was playing on my PS3, and it's one of those things that you see people on YouTube uploading videos on. Here's my top 10 list on tacos, or here's my top 10 list on
just something
Pokemon
irrelevant.
card. Yeah, just something really irrelevant. These people don't have, I'm sure there's some that have like college degrees, but for the most part, they're average Joes like you and I, talking about the things that we always talk about. It's just not recorded.
Yeah.
So that is how this came about, and I'd like to see, if this does become successful, then I prove that anyone can do this.
Absolutely. So that's the mission statement, right?
Yeah.
So just going from there, and I guess what we want to do. Originally, the concept, we didn't have something set in stone, but we want to kind of touch on everything. We like a lot of things, and we feel like people would want to hear different opinions about a lot of different things in the first place.
Yeah.
So we're going to do television, we're going to do video games, we're going to do pop culture, we're going to do hopefully soccer when World Cup starts. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to do everything, and that's our deal. So hopefully you don't get tired of our opinions on things.
Yeah. And of course, what Christian was talking about, we'll divide. So we'll let you know, hey, we're talking about soccer, or we're talking about, Breaking Bad, what we're going to do here in a bit.
Yeah.
Then you guys will know. So, if you just want to hear us talk about Breaking Bad, that's awesome. If you just want to talk about video games or music, we're going to make separate videos
let
for
us
that.
know. Yeah. Don't be afraid to yell at us and tell us, because we encourage you to yell at us and tell us if we suck, because that's something we want to hear.
This is our first video of many, which, if I can quote, I forgot his name now, Robert Rodriguez.
All right, there it is.
He said something that every director has 40 bad films in them.
Oh, yeah.
So the faster you put them out there, the faster you can get rid of that crap.
Is that a real quote? That's the
more,
best quote
more
I've
or
ever
less,
heard.
more or less.
I've never heard that
And
before.
we're not making, we're making videos.
Yeah.
We're not making movies.
Yeah, no,
but
it's the same concept.
Yeah, it's the
ideology.
same concept. And, there's someone producing a 480p video on his top 10 list on XYZ, and this kid is making lots of hits.
Yeah.
I think we can do it too.
I'm pretty fucking sure. So here's hoping.
But that said, let's knock that out of the way, and let's talk about Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. All right. So
we are 4 episodes.
4 episodes into the final season. We have a month left. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen up to season 5 of Breaking Bad, don't listen to this video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Major spoilers applied all the way. Yeah, from the beginning to where we are right now.
Yeah, so.
Episode 4. It was called Rabid Dog.
Rabid Dog, which. It was a great episode, man. And I feel like the problem is, I've been saying this over and over again, is that each episode so far has been better than the one before it. So I look like an idiot. For the last 2 weeks, I've been like, baddest episode ever. And then
You know what, though? I'm going to say this. No, this is the first one where I've seen other reviews on people talking about this, that this is the weakest episode yet.
That's what they said. But
that's
for me,
what some people are saying.
Man. And I don't agree with it.
I can kind of see, but I don't know. I guess we'll delve deeper into this.
Well, let me just retort to that really quick. I can see why people want to say that it's the weakest episode, but for me, I think the most impressive thing about any show isn't to make everything explosive at all times. It's to make the shit in between the explosive moments just as interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know who saw that last week and was like, I'm just bored by Breaking Bad. There was not a moment in the last episode that wasn't intense. And we found out what happened with Jesse. Jesse was tortured, gasoline in this house, and we're just like, oh man, what's going to happen? And we talked about this off camera, and we had to end up saving it because we wanted to do it for here. But we had 1,000 theories, and none of them ended up being Hank coming through the fucking door. And when you saw Hank, I was just like, what the fuck, man?
I know. Can we talk about that?
No, we can talk about whatever you want, man. It's your fucking podcast.
So the episode starts, and we see, we see a Walt coming in through the back door. So we're just like, okay, they're gonna confront each other right there.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, the last thing we saw episode 3 was Jesse putting the gasoline in the
and Walt grabbing the gun under the thing. So like it's setting up for a showdown of sorts.
Yeah. And then they're just like this incredible like silent pause, and we're like, where's Jesse? Because Jesse just wasn't casually like, oh, let me just pour gasoline on there. No, he was pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was pissed. So it's not like he was gonna hide somewhere. If anything, he probably would have like going gun blazing or maybe pour gasoline out.
He's not waiting. Yeah, this dude is going right after Walt.
We don't find out for I think half the episode.
Man.
What is going on? Like, I just need to know what's going on.
Where's Jesse?
Yeah,
where's Jesse? That's all we're screaming the whole time. Where's Jesse?
And you know what? I'm gonna say this though. I really was one of those persons that when I was watching it with my friends, were like, where's he at? Right? Because they break down like, oh well, he's not with his 2 friends, which I forgot, Beavis and Butthead. What are they called?
Skinny P and Badger. Yeah. Man. Come on. Totally. That's from Enterprise, dude. Come on, different universe.
They're doing some Battlestar Galactica now.
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5. So he's not with them. He's not at his place. He's not at the girlfriend of Brock's Brock's mother. Yeah, so he's not there. So where's he at?
And that was one of the most well written parts of that show is because they showed you without, or they showed you without telling you. You know what I'm saying? A kind of weird variation of that, but. There was 1,000 places this dude could be, and they let you know, well, he's not at any of these obvious places. So you're just like, where the fuck is he, man?
Yeah, so you're telling me, where is he? But I already kind of guess, I'm like, he's probably with Hank.
Yeah.
I really want those, but here's the thing, like, you have those friends that are like, they don't want to say anything, but then when the shocking moment happens, they're like, I knew that was going to happen. That was me.
That was you?
Yeah, me and my friend just like, I legit seriously didn't want to say, I'm like, he's probably staying with Hank.
Well, you called it in the course of the episode, right? Like, you didn't call it the minute he wasn't there. You were like, Hank. Like, no, you gave it a second, right?
Yeah,
all right,
gave it a
he's
second.
not with Badger, he's not with Skinny Pete, he's got to be
You do a process of elimination.
Absolutely.
Like, well, where can he stay?
Yeah.
If they eliminated all the possible choices that you thought the audience where he was going to stay at, I'm thinking, no, he's with Hank.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that interaction is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then when you finally find out that, Hank walked in and you feel so bad for Jesse.
It was epic in so many ways. But, that was... All right, Aaron Paul's won the Emmy the last 2 years for Best Supporting Actor. Mm-hmm. And I remember when he first won, it was the same year he went against Gus Fring, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. No one should have beat Giancarlo Esposito. He was an incredible actor, man. But Season 5 he won last year, and... If he doesn't win this year, I can't believe it, because some of the acting that he's put in the last 2 episodes, well, like the Rice and Discovery from episode 3, when he goes into Saul's and he's like, that asshole Mr. White, like the way he fucking said it, you felt bad for him, like you really felt everything.
Yeah, man.
And then it's the same thing, you had the same feeling when it's Hank, and you almost feel the same thing for Hank too, because Hank needs this, you know what I'm saying, almost as much. Like, I was telling you the other day that Jesse Pinkman's the one beacon that we have of hope in this show. But even more so, it's every character's own beacon if you really think about it. Like, Hank needs Jesse to bring down Walt. Walt needs Jesse because he needs to validate that he cares, that he's somewhat human still,
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. So let us know in the comments below what you want Walt's,
his endgame to
be. Yeah, his endgame to be. But
how
you want to end. But I'm going to say I want him dead. Like, I just want him dead. I don't think there's any redeeming qualities anymore in Walt. But then this was the one episode where, you know what? He has that one bit left, and it was with Jesse.
And that's exactly what I was telling you.
And I believed it the whole time. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are like, oh, he
was going to put a hit on him. Yeah.
Called it.
Well, because this is a really good point. At the tail end of last year, we were talking about what the possibilities were for this season, what was going to happen. Yeah. And we remember that Lydia was talking about, have you ever heard of the Czech Republic?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. But, so we knew that was happening. In the very premiere, we heard that, Trouble in Paradise, whatever was going on, the quality was going down. And she was consolidating power. She killed off Declan and all his men and so on and so forth. We didn't know, other than that first episode when we heard that something was wrong in the Czech Republic, how that was going to tie back. Because now we're halfway through this series. No repercussions or ramifications from that. So that scene, you're sitting there, you're just like, yo, it's believable. Like, we don't know the way that it was shot if this bald guy is going to kill Jesse Pinkman or if it's, ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to bring up how bad, again, of a liar Walt is to...
Well,
the Skylar and his immediate family, right? Because he's this kingpin, right? Like, he's the Scarface of New Mexico, right?
New Mexico.
Yeah. And he confronts all these badass and all this stuff.
And he's always got it. Yeah.
He got the Heisenberg, look, and just like, man, I'm serious. Like, you don't want to fuck with me.
But what I liked about this, and it's something that I talked to you earlier in the week, was that I feel like for the last couple seasons, especially season 4, we haven't seen Walter White. We've seen fully Heisenberg. We've seen him be cutthroat and do what needs to be done in order to protect his empire, basically. But this season 5, part 2, I don't think that we've seen Heisenberg at all. I mean, keep in mind that he had been retired for over a month at the end of the finale, all right? So he'd already been out of it. I'm not saying that he's completely checked out of it or anything like that, but I think his cancer came back, spoilers, sorry, and with his cancer, the guilt came back, a lot, his own mortality came back, and you're seeing a really remorseful person, and I wonder, and I don't know because they're doing a really good job of kind of showing us the future without showing us too much of the future, is, we saw him in the premiere of season 5, part 1, which is him getting the gun and putting it in the trunk. And we saw in this premiere that he goes back to his house. Something happened to the house, so we don't really know what happened. But something about it, to me, there's a lot of religious symbolism in that first episode. A lot of crucifix in that flashback scene. And I'm just wondering if, him going back isn't so much to protect his empire as Heisenberg, but to redeem himself as Walt. And I don't know if he can even be redeemed. That's the worst part of it. And I think that's the sad part of it. I know Vince Gilligan said that he cried when he wrote the finale, which if anyone else said that, I'd be like, gay? But I'm going to respect that because this is this guy's baby. He created it. Yeah. And I don't know if Walter can ever be redeemed. I think he's already too bad, but he still wants it. I think that's going to be the tragedy of the finale. Whether he lives or dies, it's a guy who's broken with the decisions he's made for himself. So that's me. I don't fucking know.
But I just think it's kind of funny how he's just such this bad liar to Skylar. And every time he's in his underwear, I just always think Malcolm in the Middle. I feel like when they zoomed in on the underwear and him taking off his pants, I'm like,
it's always tighty whities with this guy.
Yeah, it's always tighty whities, man. I'll just. Is this a nod to Malcolm in the Middle?
It is.
Yo, what's Frankie Muniz doing?
What's he doing?
But
what's Frankie Muniz doing? Why not pepper him? Do you remember they had, I can't say her last name to save my fucking life, but Jane Carcrum, the mom from Malcolm in the Middle, she was on the set of Breaking Bad and she shot something. People were like, is this happening, Vince? Are you really going to make this a prequel to fucking Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah.
And apparently it was just something they shot for the DVD, but for a day or two, the internet went fucking crazy. They're just it's going to happen. This is literally going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah.
Wouldn't feel cheated at all.
Walt just kills Walt Jr. and Skylar.
Goes to the witness pre-protection, grows his hair out, and becomes Hal. Dude, it happens,
Wow.
man. Why not? If it ended like that, how pissed off would you guys be, really? I think it'd be the bravest act ever.
Yeah.
You ever see fucking, what was it, Clerks 2, and he's talking about Lord of the Rings, and he's like, how Lord of the Rings should have ended? Just fucking hobbits sucking each other off. It would have been the bravest fucking ending ever. I would have given him an Oscar immediately, and that's how I feel about Vince Gilligan. If he makes us the fucking Malcolm in the Middle thing at the end... brave. Give him the Emmy, please.
Yeah, they'd be so pissed off.
It would undermine the intensity of that whole series, it would have been building up to. It's just and then that guy went off and had to be shaved at the dinner table.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Fucking great.
But speaking of Skylar, we also saw how now she's developing more of that Heisenberg persona, right?
I think she broke that.
What do people call it? You don't know, crap, I forgot what they're calling her, the Schiesenberg or some shit like that.
What?
Yo, no, there's one of those stupid.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Herzenberg, maybe?
Yeah,
Herzenberg.
I don't know. Someone let me know.
There's
that one guy that's like, you asshole.
Yeah.
But
we love you, guy. Please correct us.
Yeah. But now we're seeing her take on those dark traits, and she pretty much said,
hey, what's one more?
What's one more?
She broke
on
bad.
top of this,
I think officially, I think it's one of those things that we've always seen her. She's not comfortable with what's going on with Walt. Yeah. But
But this whole season, it's quickly okay, she's Team Walt.
Yeah. Regardless of whether she approves it or not, she picked a side. And I think that was the most declarative thing she could have done in that diner. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? And then at the dinner, she's picked a side.
Yeah.
And it was
she
something.
Helped create the video.
Yeah. And she regretted that, I feel like, almost immediately. But still, the fact is she created it. And at this point, she's an accomplice. She's just as much complicit in all of the crimes. She's been laundering his money forever, but she always felt bad about it. And this was the first time where I'm like, she broke bad. She literally...
she's legit she's
bad, man.
You know what? Yeah, what's one more going to do?
Anything that would have happened to her, there's always a hint of remorse for Skylar, because you feel like she's just in a really shitty situation. She's doing the best she can. I don't feel that. It's gone. In one line, in one scene. And that's she gets a lot of flack for being a bad actress. I think she's a great actress because she made me believe it. I fucking hate her even more than I hated her before.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But it's because now she's not opposing Walt. She's trying to get rid of our last.
I mean, she's in that weird situation, right? Like, honestly, if you are her, like, what do? You know? And I think it's one of those, like, yeah, I don't want to say she's officially bad, but I think she's just like, okay, I'm in this position. I just need to embrace it for what it is. Like, she legit, like, what the hell are you going to do? So I think it's like, yeah, you know what? If I'm stuck in this position, then I might as well be in this role. And I'm like, yeah, what's one more going to do? Kill Jesse. And which, again, they didn't say it, but, like, that's what, you know, were implied. Yeah.
Well, I also like this, man. I don't know if you pay attention to the episode names ever, like, for what they mean in the recurrent themes throughout the show and stuff like that, like the fly and bug and all that stuff. But Rabid Dog reminded me a lot of Problem Dog from season 4, and it's honestly, like, it's one of the best
I heard people
scenes
using
ever.
that, yeah.
Really, well, the reason I bring it up, I mean, it's not even, like, thematically similar, except it kind of is, but he goes into the NA meeting, right?
Yeah.
And that's where this dude won the award, by the way. Maybe this is what stole the award from Esposito, because he was just like, you know, talking about his feelings about how he had to kill Gale. He was a problem dog. He didn't hurt anybody, but he was just a problem, you know what I'm saying? And only the counselor was the only one who got it. It's like, it's not important what he did, but it's about how Jesse feels about it, you know? That was this episode, but it was like role reverse because Jesse's now that problem dog, you know, and it's sad. All these people, like Saul, like I think Saul, I mean, I don't think he cares about Jesse, but I think he is less afraid of him and cares more about his well-being than say Walt. Like his motivations are out of fear for Walt, but out of maybe genuine care for Pinkman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe not anymore after he kicked his ass, but
yeah.
it's one of those things.
I love for some reason he wore like this Miami Vice outfit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this though. I feel like if it doesn't happen in episode 5, right? Because we are only 4 episodes left.
Yeah.
I felt like someone should have died at this point. I don't care if it was a major or secondary.
Yeah.
Like, do you consider Saul a major character, or is he like those secondary main characters?
know, but he's the second. I'm not gonna answer your question, but I know he's not dying. I know he's the one person for sure that lives.
Okay, because I was gonna say, you know, if there was any time I thought someone was gonna die that season, it was when it was gonna be Saul. Which, yeah, again, I love the character. Yeah. But yeah, I really thought if they should have killed off someone, it should have been him right then and there. Yeah.
Like, you're right, it would have more of an impact, because if you would have killed, like, Huel or something, it'd be like, Saul, I get that.
Because Huel, he just really just,
I love Huel. He's a great character.
Which I do love, by the way, where he's like,
I got
yep, I got
I gotta do it, man. He just sits there.
He just sits
you can't do that. What the hell? And Bill Burr just sits down.
Have you never thought about that? Like,
oh, man.
I want to be like Scrooge McDuck and be like...
swimming in money, dude. No, but it was great. That's honestly the other great thing about Breaking Bad is it can be intense. You can have heart.
Oh, no, it needs that comic relief.
But it has comic relief. That fucking scene in the premiere with Badger and Skinny Pete talking about the pie eating contest, that may be the funniest
thing. You see how someone like YouTube animated it right away.
I just like it because like these guys are idiots. They're idiot savants, but the things they care about, they're geniuses. So he's like, they're eating Tollaberry pies. And he's like, Tollaberries? Yeah, from the Blue universe. He's like, bro, that's Enterprise. You're mixing up your universes. And I'm like, yeah, these guys fucking are brilliant. I thought Saul was going to die is the point.
Yeah, Saul was going to die. Yeah, and what I want now, or what I want every episode to be is kind of like, I want the one, you know, character. I just want someone to die at this point, because now I feel like with 4 episodes left, I'm kind of curious to see how things were sped up. Yeah. And this is my one actual problem with this episode. And I think this is why everyone thinks maybe this is the weakest episode so far of the whole season of season 5.2, was when we saw Hank with Gomez doing the video.
I didn't like that, and you just skipped over if he was
they just skipped over because you seen Hank at this point, you know, he's not, I'm not going to say he's as smart as Walt, but he's like, okay, he's this, you know,
He's a pretty brilliant guy for his deal, you know?
Yeah. And the thing with Gomez is, like, Gomez was, you know, his like, you know, I feel like there's any way he can talk to, it'd be him.
Gomez, yeah.
But I still would have loved to have seen that conversation, like, oh, by the way.
My brother's Heisenberg.
Yeah, my brother's Heisenberg. Yeah. And I know all those times where I could have been fired, I've always been, you know, working on these, you know, trying to figure out the pieces.
Oh, because you're worried that the real ramification is going to be that for all the extra workload he's been throwing at this case when he's been told not to, that it's going to eventually be like, we spent all this to find your brother-in-law, basically.
Yeah. And I would have loved to have seen that, because I feel like they're good friends, but I think it would have been one of those revelations, like when Hank found out that Walt was Heisenberg. Yeah. Like, I don't think Gomez would have punched Hank or anything, but I think it would have been like, okay, you realize you are in this sticky situation, which I don't think he told him about the tape. About
the blackmail tape.
Yeah, the blackmail tape. I don't think he knows.
I don't think he can, dude.
So, but I mean, regardless, I still would have loved to have seen that interaction of him like, oh yeah, by the way, here's Jesse because I found out that my brother-in-law is Heisenberg, and I didn't like that. You just saw him right away, like, okay, so we didn't. Get
it felt like we missed something, but I don't know. I mean, that's like one of the minor grievances I can have with that. There were some other like scenes, very close proximity to that scene.
Yeah.
Like, did your heart not break? Where he's just like, I met Mr. White when I was a sophomore. He was my teacher. Like,
I know.
my heart
He's still
broke.
calling him Mr. White.
It's
man.
just
I love that.
dude.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that was it. Where he's like Walt, and he's like, I met Mr. White, and it's just the way he said it. He was like, my heart was broken. What?
He was a junior, not a sophomore.
Okay.
God damn it.
Go ahead.
Anyway, but did your heart not break during that scene, man? It was just terrible.
I mean, my whole heart's all ready for Jesse.
For Jesse.
Like, it just, and again, I don't know if he's going to live or he's going to die, but I'm still going to say this, is like, I just want Walt to die. Like, I think it really is one of those, like, Scarface situations, or, you just can't have this guy.
He can't walk away at the end.
He can't walk away.
As Jesse
And
kept
if he-
saying, he can't keep getting away with this shit, and I'm with it, totally.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I loved how this episode reminded us of the season 4 ending of like the flower. Like, did you see how they kept on zooming in like on the flower, and you're like, okay, he still has like pieces of that poisonous flower, which I forgot what it was called.
Lily of the Valley.
But I love how Marie, through this therapy, is now talking about like poisoning. This one guy she can't tell the therapist.
Foreshadowing.
And I think because we saw again, we're seeing I don't want to say the re-emergence, but like we're reminded of the flower again, and now we have Marie talking about the flower. I would love to see how like I think this is now going to somehow concoct like Walt ending up somehow poisoning himself for whatever reasoning,
faking his death,
and then like pointing it at Marie. But I don't think we know anything about. I don't think Walt knows that Marie has this obsession with poison or something. But I think he's going to somehow find out, and this is going to be somehow like, oh, guess what? Although I did die in the end, I'm taking Marie and Walt with me, or Marie and Hank with me.
I don't know, and I don't even want to speculate on this because they've given us a 0 to go on with this.
Yeah.
I just remember Vince Gilligan saying like the language of season 3 was Spanish, but the language of season 3 and 4 was Spanish, but the language of season 5 will be German. Madrigal, like the big corporation, right?
Okay.
And I feel like Lydia was tied to that. You know what I'm saying? She's doing shady operations in the Czech Republic, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like this all ends up where it's kind of like you say, like maybe he has to fake his death and he assumes some other identity. Did you realize that his maiden name is Skylar's maiden name? The name that he assumed is Skylar's maiden name.
Oh no, I did.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if he's gonna kill Skylar. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but that's the name that he has on his license, or his driver's license. So what I'm saying is he fakes his death, he goes away, and I'm wondering if something happens where he has to come back to do something. I don't know why, but I feel it's going to have to do with the Czech Republic people.
Yeah.
Like they're not pleased about something.
And again, it kind of reminds me a bit of Game of Thrones, right? When you see everyone talking about these characters, you're like, where's the Czech people? Like we didn't really get any of them. Which I thought that one guy was towards the end. Like, this is probably like some Czech
That's what it is.
hitman or something. And then you find out, it's just some random Joe. I think, so far we're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how they play into this puzzle,
Yeah.
So.
And my only concern with it, and like I'm never going to dump Vince Gilligan. The dude has never let me down. He runs an incredible show, and I've never been able to predict that show, unlike you with Hank.
Yeah.
But it just seems like there's 4 episodes left, and that's 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So you really have 3 hours to tell the rest of your tale, man. I don't know how the fuck you're gonna do it.
This is why I kind of wanted someone already to die. If it wasn't even Saul though, it just because what I want to happen now in these last 4 episodes is someone to die, and then us just seeing the avalanche of characters die off one by one. Again, I don't know how it's gonna happen.
That'd be like 6 Feet Under. I don't know. Did you ever see 6 Feet Under?
No.
All right, it's got an incredible finale where they all died. I mean, some people hated it, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I think if they stretch that out over the last 3 episodes of Breaking Bad, where everyone just starts, like, all the fucking ramifications of everyone's bad decisions come at once and everything goes down, you know what I'm saying? That would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, because I was hypothesizing with a friend of mine, when Jesse saw the picture of Skylar.
Yeah.
And then, let's fast forward to him making the threat to Walt.
Yeah.
Right, where he's saying, like, I'm going to hit you where...
I'm gonna hit you where it really hurts.
Where
Or something
really
like
hurts,
that.
yeah.
That was a weird statement, but yeah.
Again, I still want him to die, but I
You
still
hate this bastard.
no, I mean, but I do appreciate the fact that like the one redeeming quality was that he was telling, or that I think he basically told everyone that like, listen, I still have feelings for like Jesse. I think I would argue Jesse is more of a son
Than Walt Jr.
because Walt Jr. Although like there's that like love, you know, like he just so
It's
like
just
he
based-
doesn't know his father.
It's just based out of lies, man. Like,
Yeah,
you know, that's like
yeah.
the saddest thing was the episode beforehand where he's like, "Yeah, Marie called me to do something with the computer," and it's just like, you know, he's guilt tripping him. Like he's manipulating his kid, dude, basically, and it's just like it's a terrible thing. But you saw that, you're right, when there was the scene where they're in the car in the hotel and he's just like, you know, Old Yeller, he was a loved dog, and we had to take him out.
Yeah.
Never float that idea to me again. And that was the brief
That
moment
was
where we saw
the
Heisenberg again.
yeah,
He's like,
okay.
yeah, you will never do that. And it just shows how much he really loves Jesse, man. And that's the saddest thing in the world is that you shouldn't have done so many terrible things, Walt, because it's done. Jesse doesn't give a fuck about you anymore. So
I mean, I think we'll fully see the Heisenberg, right? When he puts on the notorious
the
hat and the shades,
that's all you need.
and then be like,
I love
okay, he's Batman now.
Yeah,
right? Like
pretty much.
Yeah, he gotta have that Bruce Wayne persona. now.
He's got a voice now, dude.
Yeah.
Point is, it's going to be a great next 4 episodes. I have no idea.
4 episodes left, so I don't know. I mean, what are your predictions? You know, let us know in the comments below, and yeah, hope you enjoy our thoughts on
that's
it.
the inaugural Breaking Bad. Actually, the inaugural any cast, but we're excited about it. So let us know how we did. All right.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.